Hey guys, I'm just doing a quick review today on the Westone 4. It's not the 4R, it's the 4, the original model that came out, and it's more of a first impression as opposed to review, I guess. So I just got these in today. I ordered them off of Amazon because they were cheaper. I mean, retail these like $650. There's no way I'm paying that for a pair of IEMs. I just don't think it's. I don't know, but I got them for much less. Just basic info on these quad balanced armature drivers. So there's four in each side, I guess. It's got four speakers in each. Unlike the 4Rs, not have a detachable cable. It comes with multiple different ear tips. Um, Basically, with the drivers, there's two for lows, one for mid, one for high. There's a three-way passive crossover that splits up the sound for those. And I guess that's just the basic information. This was the first quad armature driver headphone to be on the market, made by Westone. So as you can see here, I have the IEMs themselves. I have some of the accessories laying around here. I don't have the ear tips, but I have the box, which it was smaller than what I thought it'd be. But I mean, it's fine, I guess. Same thing with the actual earbud themselves. I thought it'd be a whole lot bigger just because it's got four drives in there, but no, it's actually pretty small. It fits in my ear fine, and I don't really have large ears. Also came with this carrying case, which is, I think it's actually kind of small, but it's a hard case, so I mean it's nice. It's not like the Vault that they have in the 4Rs, but they were much more expensive than these, so I just went with these. I have my source right here, which is iPod first gen, so I have that hooked up just because I was doing some listening. So I probably only gotten like 2 hours of listening to these, so I guess for audio quality, I'm gonna say what I've heard about them and then my first impressions on that. There's not many reviews of these on YouTube that are actually good or in English or whatever. I mean, I guess people just don't review them. I don't know how many people actually have expensive earbuds like these, but So originally when I was getting these, I'm not a huge audiophile. I started out as a consumer just looking for good audio when I started getting into audio, but from there I've kind of turned into an audiophile because I really do appreciate the higher quality music and hearing my music how it should be heard at you know good quality with good clarity. So I was looking to get a nice pair of IEMs. What I've had before this, my main IEM was a pair of Shure SE215 limited editions, which was dynamic driver. So balanced armature driver, I was looking to get into that because I've heard balanced armature before. Drivers, I've heard the is it 10X, I think, or X10. I had a friend who had those, and I've heard Creative Orvada 3, which are actually really good. Dual balanced armature drivers in there. Um, and so initially I was looking for something, and I came across these. I'm like, why not go all out? Then I won't really have to buy another pair if I don't want to. I mean, at least for now. I mean, being as my occupation as a student, I'm not making a huge income because I have to focus on school. But I mean, so of course the retail's 600. You see them on the internet going for, I mean, around 400, sub 400 maybe, depending on where you're getting from. Prices tend to fluctuate. I think they've gone down on these just because the 4R came out, and I guess maybe more people are looking for those. But the 4R tends to stay around 500 or maybe sub 500. I mean, basically the only difference is it's got a detachable cable, and they say it's got acoustic symmetry, which means all the drivers are balanced, so there's not one dominant driver. But I mean, I don't think you can tell that well unless you're a crazy audiophile. Um, so I mean, for me it came down to either these or the Westone 3s, and I heard the Westone 3s weren't really as audiophile. They had a very prominent bass that bleeds into the mids, and their highs weren't as extended, or maybe not as crisp. But I mean, they seem to be more like consumer oriented. These were supposed to be like ultimate audiophile headphones, extremely neutral. Um, and so originally when I heard how neutral they'd be, my first impressions or thoughts on that would be that it might be a boring kind of neutral. But honestly that wasn't the case at all. Uh, they're neutral. I can definitely tell the difference in my songs, but it's not boring. The bass is actually it's much more prominent than I thought it'd be, but it's not like really prominent like in some other. I guess the W3s. I've never heard them. I assume the bass is much more prominent and it's impactful. But you get both that impact and the good full bass feeling, the nice sound and everything. So it's a very very balanced bass, along with the mids also very balanced, very very on level with the bass. I mean, generally it's very very neutral earbud. Also the highs were very very nice. Nice crisp sparkled, but then I mean it's not a really sparkly high. Nice and extended, also neutral, but it's not a boring neutral. It's actually I very very much enjoyed listening to my music. Definitely, I could hear and kind of feel things in my music that I hadn't heard before, especially higher quality stuff. So, I mean that's good. So overall, it was very neutral. I've heard the bass, or I originally heard the bass wasn't good, and I consider myself to be a bass head in some situations. I have a nice big subwoofer in my room. I enjoy listening to really bassy music where you can just feel vibrations. But I mean, with these, it's not like I wasn't satisfied. I mean, the bass was just, regardless of the fact that it wasn't powerful, it was such a nice bass. I mean, I was completely happy with it. Um, so I mean, it's good build quality. I can't say I've only had them for a day. Um, Plastic feels fine. I have heard problems with the I think W4 with a leaking and such from bad seals. I mean, I don't. The seals look fine to me. I mean, I have the general concern with the canal. You can't really see it, but it just seems thin. I'm always afraid that's gonna break. My main concern is the wire. Initially I thought the wire would be a bit thicker, but it's not. It's pretty thin. Um, the jack itself right here is also pretty small. It doesn't seem that hardy. I mean, it's a nice jack and all, very compact. I don't know, but the wire would concern me, especially because it's not a detachable cable. But I registered them, so I have the 2-year warranty, and I hope Westone will uphold that warranty in a positive manner, and I'll get good service if these ever break. I mean, accessories. For the accessories, I wasn't really impressed. I mean, the case, it's nice and all, but it's small. I mean, they could have done better. Ear tips, or yeah, these little foam tips. It came with a good variety of them. It came with a triple flange and a normal like just silicone ones, along with these foam ones, which I actually particularly like. I have a longer one on right now. It gets in your canal, and I have pretty small ear holes, but these work fine. So I'm actually pretty impressed. I haven't tried my Shure Olives yet, but I'll have to do that. I mean, with these tips on, I mean, it doesn't put a huge effect on the sound. So I mean, I haven't tested them all out. So I mean, I'm assuming these are fine for now. So I mean, overall, was it worth what I paid? I mean, I paid sub 400 for these, and it was definitely worth it. I'd price these at about 400, excluding the one flaw, the detachable cable. I think they were definitely very good. The quality, the clarity, the detail is just outstanding compared to what I've heard. I actually have a pair of Audio-Technica M50s that I've been listening to a lot, so it's a well-known headphone, and I actually prefer these over the N50s when you exclude 3D imaging. Just because that's one of the inherent shortcomings of an IM is the the 3D imaging. Just because it's not, it's just compact, it's jammed in your ear, you're not going to get as good. But it's definitely impressive for an IM, I'll say. Compared to my Shure SE215s, the limited editions, the imaging on those was close to just left and right, just the stereo. You couldn't tell beyond that. On these it's actually very impressive. For an IM, I'm actually impressed, but naturally on my M50s, it's gonna feel nicer. And I'm not sure they have a specific term for this, but I'm listening to certain music, especially electronica, like variations of dubstep and such. The way that the sounds are, if you're familiar with that, you probably understand what I'm about to say. But I can kind of feel the way the sounds move, like in accordance to the 3D imaging. Like if I had to draw it out, I could draw the way I feel the sounds moving up or down or in a curve. Using these, I can actually do that to an extent. It's much better on my M50s just because of the imaging, but it's actually impressive. I was impressed. I mean, initially when I first put these in, I didn't feel like they were as good as I thought they'd be, but after maybe it was just like a first
time impression, maybe I wasn't paying attention to detail. Maybe I had to break in a little, but right now they're crazy good.
So I mean, I definitely think the sound quality is better on my M50s, and it's not like I wouldn't expect that considering how much these retail. But the M50s are full size headphones, so I mean, besides the imaging and possibly soundstage, um, I'm definitely impressed. And I was impressed with the soundstage. I mean, one thing that surprised me is how neutral these are. And one of the things was I'd be listening to songs. I've been listening to M50s on my Shure. I have a pair of Shure SRH 550 DJs, Klipsch S4s, stuff I've heard, and it sounds really different. And I'm assuming since these are so neutral, that's just because that's the way the song's supposed to sound, the way it was recorded, the way the author intended you to hear it, which was which was actually impressive for me. I'm like, wow, that's a whole lot different than I remember, which is nice. I mean, it's not like it's sounding bad. I've heard people saying bad things just because this wasn't what they expected. They didn't expect something so neutral. I mean, which is nice. I'm used to a more colored headphone, so generally everything on these is extremely impressive. Sound quality, I'd say it's flawless. If I guess even if you're not an audiophile, because I'm not a huge audiophile, but the sound quality, I still think it's superlative. I mean, even if you're not, I mean, I've heard people who aren't audiophiles bashing this, but I mean, that's like a 1 in 100 person right there. So I mean, generally these are great. Um, if if you could get the 4Rs, if it's between these and the 4Rs, and the price isn't a huge difference, I'd go for the 4Rs just because when you're paying that much for a pair of headphones, you're gonna want longevity with it, and with a detachable cable, a lot of problems. Your cable breaks, your headphones are screwed. You can't fix that on these, but with the detachable cable, you can just replace it. I've also heard that these shine a bit better with aftermarket cables, nicer cables, and I mean, I'm not sure about that. I personally don't think it's a huge deal to have a nicer cable. I know they make some like gold, silver, weird cables that's supposed to make your headphones sound much better, but I mean, unless you're listening to some like crazy high quality audiophile, I don't even know crap. I don't think you're gonna be able to tell a difference with these. As far as audio quality goes, I definitely recommend 250 kbps AAC or MP3 at the very least. I prefer 320 for these. Flax are also good. I think I can tell a difference between the two. I haven't done a good comparison, but I definitely think flax are gonna shine much better. Even WAVs, depending on what you're doing. I do intend to hook these up to a turntable and play some vinyl through them. Maybe hook them up through some nicer stuff. Uh, see how it sounds through that. Play straight CDs off a player. One thing I actually have done is I have a FIO E11 Kilimanjaro, and I use the amp for that. I also used an E6, and you don't need the amp to power them. I'm gonna say that straight up. I mean, they're definitely loud enough just with like an iPod. I have an iPod first gen right there, and it powers them fine, drives them great. But I mean, if you want, I'd say you could use E6 or an E5, E6, just because it's got the kind of EQ settings where you can turn up the bass or whatever. I mean, just if you prefer that, I think that's nice. But when it comes to portability, lugging around a FIO E11, I mean, lugging, I don't know. It's just like it's thicker than my iPod, so sometimes it could be a pain. I mean, I don't really think I'm gonna be taking these out the house because I, have my Sures home. I really don't want to break anything on these. These are so nice. But I mean, otherwise, I was extremely impressed. I was definitely skeptical just because they're IEMs, and I'm dropping a large stack of cash on these. But I was not disappointed. Kudos to Westone, especially being the first quad balanced armature driver. IEM, I still think it's probably the best. Although I do think the Shure. SE846s will definitely go head to head with these, if not be better, although the price tag's a bit higher on those. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you enjoyed this. Rate, subscribe. Actually, don't subscribe. I'm probably not going to put out that many more videos. But subscribe if you want to. I really don't care. It's not going to hurt me if you don't subscribe. But, actually, it might hurt. No, because no one's actually going to watch this video. Or actually, maybe people. I looked up videos on YouTube for the Westone 4s, and I didn't really find anything. So maybe you're that person who's content to find this video, but I mean, if you're comparing these with other high-end IEMs, definitely go for this one. This definitely the superior one. So that's all. Thanks.